For whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. And in verse 14 it says, how then shall they call on him in whom they have not believed? And how shall they believe in him in whom they have not heard? And how shall they hear without a preacher? You see, if people's not hearing about the true Jesus. A man turned up one night to give a testimony. He wouldn't come into the church and he wouldn't come into the house. He said, I don't know when I'll be fit to stand up and give this testimony, but I want to tell you. He stood at one side of the car, I stood at the other, and we leant on the roof of the car. And what I'm going to tell you in a few minutes, it took him an hour and a half. This man was brought up in church all his life. And in that church there were many people, as he put it, possessed, were saying that they were saved. But this man, the first time I met him, the presence of God began to work on him. And the expression was, what are you doing? Because the very hairs in the back of my neck standing up. And I said, I'm doing nothing. That's the power of God. If you're saved, he wants to bless you. If you're not saved, he wants to save you. And some years later, he finds himself very ill in hospital. The doctor's giving him no hope. And he's lying in bed and he's all wired up, you know how it is. All this machinery attached to him. But he's upcoming, or he's bringing up within a church atmosphere. The wrong atmosphere. He didn't know that he could call upon the Lord lying on the bed. He was used all his life. He would bow his knee at the side of his bed morning and night, and he would pray what we call the Lord's Prayer. And he's lying in this bed very ill. He doesn't know that he can call on the Lord right just lying there. So he struggles and he gets out of bed and he gets on his knees. And the nurse comes running and causes a whole panic and gets him back into bed and puts the side up the next day. You not know you're ill, you shouldn't be out of bed, so on and so forth. Give him another pump of morphine. And when he wakens up again, he's still this in his mind. I need to touch Jesus. This Jesus that's alive. This Jesus that's real. So when all's quiet again, he gets out over the, whatever you call that thing on the side of the bed. And back on his knees again before he can call on the name of the Lord. The nurse come running again. And put him on the bed again and tell him off. You must not get out of bed, another pump of morphine. Then later on he wakens up again. Still doesn't know he can call upon the name of the Lord right where he is. He has this mindset, I've got to get to my knees. God's not going to hear me, I'm not on my knees. So he gets out of bed again. The nurses don't come this time, and he's got a problem. How do I get to this Jesus that's alive? I don't want this Jesus that people have been talking about all down through the years, but no, that Jesus never turns up. I want to talk to the Jesus that turns up. This is real in this man's mind. That's how he was seeing things. Not just because of the morphine. But down through the years, this is all built up on him. And he said, Lord, I don't want to offend anybody. But I want the Jesus that turns up. I want the Jesus that dwells in Bert's house. And he said, all of a sudden, I could feel that presence. And he said, I looked up to see if you had come. And you weren't there, but Jesus was there. And he'd give his life to Jesus beside that hospital bed. And Jesus didn't only save him, Jesus healed him. And he's got all clear from the doctor. 1% of people that have got this particular type of cancer survive for any length of time. And he's all clear. He was confused by his upbringing and religion, and not the truth. Imagine that he just couldn't imagine that he could call on the Lord lying there in the bed. That God wouldn't hear him if he didn't get out of bed and get on his knees. I'm telling you this today because this is the snare that religion brings on people. This is the snares that doctrines bring. But whenever we start to bring together, behold what manner of love the Father has bestowed upon us. And behold what manner of man is this, talking about Jesus. We can start to cut through all the hindrances. For that's what they are, they're hindrances to keep people from calling upon the name of the Lord.